The new bounties of the Straw Hats after Egghead Island. The conclusion of Egghead Island saw the Straw Hats escape. The Egghead Island arc of One Piece concluded recently. This arc spanned for over a year and a half, and it certainly had some very exciting plot points to tackle. For one, fans got to see an incredible character like Vegapunk, as well as his satellites. Little by little, fans got to see all the developments that Vegapunk had made over the years. Vegapunk had also studied poneglyphs in secret, and that is also something that fans found absolutely shocking in many ways. What's more, Vegapunk did not keep the secrets of these poneglyphs to himself. Instead, he transmitted his message to the entire world when he was killed. The Egghead Island arc was all centered around Vegapunk and his death, and at the same time, a major part of it was about Bonnie and Kuma. Luffy, being Nika, was thrown into the midst of all this action, which is exactly what made it so special. Egghead saw Vegapunk's life being threatened by the world government after York, one of his satellites, betrayed him for the position of Celestial Dragon. This led to the world government attacking Vegapunk and several warships being sent to the island to destroy him and secure the technology that he had worked on over the years. The Strafut pirates' arrival on Egghead was a boon for him in some ways. Essentially, this arc saw a battle between the Strafut pirates and the government forces. From the side of the government forces, there were 30,000 Marines, which included 10 Vice Admirals, a Marine Admiral, as well as a member of the Five Elders. These forces were distributed over 100 ships of all sizes. The Straw Hat Pirates faced a very tough challenge here, and it was certainly not easy to defeat these powerful individuals. This arc saw Luffy fight against Saturn and other elders later down the line. It saw the Five Elders being summoned to Egghead, and a major chaotic scenario, which no fan could have predicted ever. In the end, the losses the Straw Hats faced were heavy. Stella ended up dying, but Lilith survived, and it was only because of the Iron Giant, a relic from the Void Century who had befriended Joy Boy, that the Straw Hats were able to escape. Do the Straw Hats deserve new bounties after Egghead? When one speaks of new bounties for the Straw Hat Pirates after the events of the Egghead Island arc, they have to look at whether the Straw Hats deserve new bounties or not and how Oda looks at this arc in general. The first thing fans need to consider is that Egghead is not a major arc such as Arabasta, Enies Lobby, or the likes of Dressrosa and Wano. It is a smaller arc, even though its length suggests otherwise. There was no major combat in this arc, and the focus was escaping. As such, one can see an argument being made against the Straw Hat Pirates getting new bounties in this arc. Usually, whenever the Straw Hat Pirates get newer bounties, they take someone down, and it is because that situation is worrisome for the world government that they get new bounties. The same cannot be said for Egghead Island, in a way. Putting things into perspective, Luffy got his first bounty after he took down Arlong in the East Blue, and this was a huge deal. He got his second bounty after defeating Crocodile, and this was a member of the Shichibukai, which, once again, was a very big event. His third bounty was given to him after the events of Enies Lobby, which saw him defeat Rob Lucci. Once again, this was a shocking turn of events. Luffy's fourth bounty is the only one that he has received without any major victory to his name. His fifth bounty came after he defeated Doflamingo, and his sixth bounty followed the defeat of Katakuri. Luffy got his seventh and latest bounty after beating Kaido, one of the Yonko. The events of Egghead have been such that Luffy has not defeated any major character. In a way, fans can say that Luffy defeated Kizaru because he absolutely did. But Kizaru is still an active Marine, and every reader knows that neither Luffy nor Kizaru were going all out in their battle. Still, Luffy was the victor in this fight, and based on that, an argument can be made for Luffy getting a new bounty following the defeat of Kizaru. However, then, one also needs to consider the fact that Luffy is already considered to be above Kizaru in terms of power. Defeating someone weaker shouldn't necessarily give Luffy a new bounty because that would be expected of him. Similarly, when Shanks beats Kid, nobody expects him to get a new bounty, and that is expected because everyone knows Shanks to be stronger and capable of doing that. Similarly, Luffy should not get a new bounty just because he beats someone weaker than him. As such, while a case can be made for the Straw Hats getting new bounties following the events of Egghead Island, it is highly likely that they won't end up getting any increase. For now, just Straw Hat Pirates are likely going to keep their current bounties. That certainly doesn't mean that they won't get new bounties, though. Fans know for a fact that the Elbaf is coming and that it is supposed to be a major arc. In this arc, the Straw Hats will have their major moments, and they will shake the world in many ways, which is expected of them at this point. As such, they will likely get new bounties after this arc, and when that happens, Luffy's reward is likely to skyrocket and cross the 4 billion mark.